You wake up, and you have no idea what you're supposed to do. Not just today, with your life, you scroll, you research, you work on yourself. But there's this static, white noise in your skull. You think constantly, but you never act. And it's not depression, it's not laziness, it's something else, something structural. And no, therapy won't fix it, because therapy assumes there's a you to heal. There isn't. Look, every self-help video says the same thing. Find yourself. Be authentic. Listen to your inner voice. But what if there's nothing to find? What if you're biologically incomplete? What if the operating system was never installed? Most people think this is normal anxiety, background noise. You're about to understand it's a narrative vacuum. There's a reason 70% of people report feeling empty. It's not chemical, it's architectural. And the solution isn't meditation, it's something philosophers discovered in the 1980s that nobody told you about. Stay with me for 60 seconds. This will reframe your entire existence. Here's the uncomfortable truth. You are not a person by default. Biologically, you're hardware, a body, a brain, meat, and electricity. But a subject, a citizen, a personality, an agent, that's software. And software needs code. We've been lied to. Society told us, you're born a person, just express your true self. Wrong. A philosopher named Michel Foucault proved this in the 1980s. He called it subjectivation. Translation, you don't have a self, you build one. And here's why you're confused. Think about it. A medieval peasant knew exactly who they were. Why? The church gave them a script. You are a Christian. Here are the rules. Follow them. A Roman citizen? Same thing. The Republic gave them a role. Clear, defined, executable. But you? Modern culture gives you what? Ads? Algorithms? Political noise? Social media avatars? None of it tells you who to be. This is why you overthink everything, but execute nothing. You're running code that doesn't exist. Foucault called this the hermeneutics of the self. Ancient civilizations forced people through rituals, confessions, oaths, technologies of the self. These weren't just traditions, they were installation protocols. They wrote the self onto the biological body. Modern society, it stopped providing the script. You're left in a narrative vacuum. And here's the kicker. You can't just think your way out. Thinking is the problem. So let's fix this, step by step, with actual tools. Step 1. Diagnose the static. Your anxiety isn't about what you consume, it's that you consume signal-less noise. News? It describes chaos, not your role in it. Social media? It shows you 1,000 identities. None are yours. Here's what you do right now. Open your phone. Look at the last 10 things you consumed. TikTok, news, YouTube, whatever. Ask for each one. Does this tell me who I am? Does this give me a role to play? Does this offer rules to follow? If the answer is no to all three, it's static, cut it. Why does this matter? Your prefrontal cortex evolved to execute scripts. When it receives incoherent information, static, it enters a loop. Dopamine drops. Cortisol spikes. You feel stuck because neurologically, you are. Skip this audit and you'll keep feeding your brain garbage. The next step won't work if you don't clean the input first. Step 2. Acknowledge the vacuum. Average people think, I just need motivation. You need to understand, motivation doesn't exist without a structure. The emptiness you feel isn't psychological, it's positional. You're a program waiting for code, so write this down. Physically, on paper. I feel empty because society provides no script. This is not my failure, this is a structural deficit. Read it once daily for 7 days. Why? Cognitive behavioral therapy works by reframing thoughts, but you can't reframe what doesn't exist. This statement shifts blame from internal failure to external absence. Your nervous system relaxes, cortisol drops, clarity increases, and this next step, it's illegal in some countries, not because it's dangerous, because it makes you ungovernable. Step 3. Draft your personal constitution. You've been waiting for culture to give you an identity. It's not coming. The institutions are dead, the narratives are broken, so you have to become your own institution. Here's how. Open a Google Doc. Title it, My Operating System. Section 1, Identity, Who I Am. Write one sentence, functional, not vague, bad, I am authentic, meaningless, good, I am a stoic, I am a builder, I am a protector. This is your role, your software label. Section 2, the bylaws, non-negotiable rules. List 5 absolute rules this subject follows. Example: 1. I do not complain publicly. 2. I produce something daily. 3. I do not consume news before 12 p.m. 4. I honor my word above comfort. 5. I protect my attention like property. Section 3. The Daily Load Protocol. Every morning, read this document aloud. Not optional, not when you feel like it. You are loading the script into RAM. Why does this work? Foucault proved the self is a practice, not a discovery. Ancient monks didn't find themselves. They performed themselves daily. Repetition writes neural pathways. You're not being yourself. You're becoming the self you scripted. Without this document, you'll stay a biological body. With it, you become a subject, an agent, a person. Step 4. Practice subjectivation. Modern culture worships spontaneity. Go with the flow. That's the trap. Flow is for bodies. Subjects require discipline. Here's the ritual. Before phone, before coffee, before anything. Sit. Read your constitution aloud. Ask, what would this subject do today? Write down 3 actions that align with your bylaws. The science? Your brain doesn't distinguish between you and the role you perform. Actors who play villains report mood changes, real shifts in personality. You're doing the reverse, scripting the hero. Daily repetition creates automaticity, action without overthinking. This is what separates people who consume content from people who execute. The gap isn't talent, it's this ritual. Step 5. Identify the white noise. Once you have a script, you'll notice something horrifying. Most conversation is meaningless. Water cooler talk, news commentary, social media threads. It sounds like language, but it carries 0 actionable information. Foucault called this white noise, the simulation of meaning. Here's your filter. During any conversation or content consumption, ask, does this help me execute my script? If yes, engage. If no, exit immediately. No guilt. Why? Information overload isn't about quantity, it's about irrelevance. When 99% of input is noise, your brain enters permanent stress. By filtering for signal, you reduce cognitive load by 80%. And here's the darkest part. Once you do this, you'll realize how lost everyone else is. This isn't a productivity hack. This is ontological reconstruction. You just stopped being hardware waiting for instructions. You became the architect and the subject. Most people will stay in the vacuum forever. They'll consume, they'll scroll, they'll work on themselves, but they'll never be themselves because they never wrote the code. You are not discovering who you are deciding who you are, and then you're practicing that decision until it becomes automatic. That's not philosophy, that's biology. The self is not found, it's forged, daily, manually, with a script you write. Society won't save you, the algorithm won't save you. You're the institution now. Write the Constitution today, or stay hardware forever.